الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. If you clicked on this video, that means that you want to learn Arabic, learn Quranic Arabic, so inshallah you can interact with the Quran and without having to rely on translation, and just have a more meaningful personal relationship with the Quran. May Allah allow all of us to grow closer to the Quran and really hold on to His word and to guide us, inshallah. So this is a really great first step that you're taking. I put together this course, and inshallah we're going to go through some basic grammar rules, and along the way, I want you to be trying to improve your Arabic vocabulary. We're going to pick up some words. I will give you some tips on how to improve your vocabulary as we're going through these grammar lessons. And yeah, so let's start out going over with a roadmap. I think it's really important to have a roadmap of where we're going, what the next 5, 6, 7 lectures are going to look like. So we can stay motivated, stay on the path, have a plan, inshallah. So let's begin. So Arabic is a language, and just like any language, it's made up of words. We put those words together in special ways to convey meaning. And when we have put words together in a complete way, we have made a sentence. Okay? So a sentence is a complete thought. Okay? And when we put words together in an incomplete way, we make something called a fragment. Okay, this is an incomplete thought. And fragments and sentences are both made out of words, which is the most basic unit in a language, apart from letters. Now, in the Arabic language, let's go back to sentence. There are two types of sentences in Arabic. There is a nominal sentence, which is called the Jumla Ismiya. And there is the verbal sentence, which is called the Jumla Fi'liya. Okay, nominal sentence, it is a sentence that doesn't have a verb in it. So if I say, the ocean is vast, Allah's mercy is all-encompassing. These are nominal sentences. There's no verb in it. There's no doer doing some action. If there was a verb in it, if there was some action verb in it, it would be a jumla fi'liya, it would be a verbal sentence. So if I say, the sky is big, okay, that's a nominal sentence. If I say, Ahmed helped Sarah, that is a verbal sentence. Okay, cool. Now, fragments. Okay, now this is a complete thought. The sky is big, Ahmed helped Sarah. These are complete thoughts. Now, incomplete thought, these are called fragments. When you have more than one word together, you have at least two words coming together, but these words coming together is not completing a thought. They are partial. They are like half of a thought. And in Arabic, there are many types of fragments. One type of fragment, for example, I'll give you one right now. It is the Mosuf Sifa fragment. This is the adjective and noun fragment. Okay. This fragment is when you have some type of description happening. So if I say big sky, Now, big sky is not a complete sentence like we had here. The sky is big. That's a complete sentence. But big sky, that's not a complete sentence. But that is two words coming together to make an incomplete thought. Big is the description, it's the adjective, and in Arabic, that is called a sifa. And the thing that is being described by the sifa is called the mawsuf. Okay, so this is called the mawsuf sifa fragment. And we are going to learn a lot of different more fragments, and we're going to be able to differentiate these fragments based on patterns. Okay, patterns is really huge in Arabic because a lot of times there are no the Arabic language is a very concise, precise, and almost scientific language. It's so awesome, mashallah. There's not a lot of extra words. Everything is just very concise, very efficient. So the way we kind of differentiate things is patterns, recognizing patterns. That's going to be huge. Okay? So, inshallah, we're going to learn these patterns, how to make the Mawsuf Sifa fragment. There's the Jar Majroor fragment, the Idafa fragment. Inshallah, lots of fragments. Okay. Now, so we talked about sentences, we talked about fragments. Now there are words. Okay. In Arabic, there are 3 different types of words. Okay. 3 words, 3 types of words. The first type of word is called the ism. The ism, it is basically what we say in English, the noun. So it is a person, place, thing, idea, adjective, adverb. It is a word that is independent of time. There's no time, there's no tense associated with it. So when we go to big sky over here, big sky, these are 2 isms. Okay. The next type of word is the fi'l. Fi'l is like a verb. It does have a tense association. So helped and helping, helps, these are words that have a tense with it. So it can be like a past tense, which in Arabic we call madi, or a present tense, which in Arabic is mudare. And inshallah, in future lectures, we're going to learn how to conjugate verbs to make past tense, present tense, etc. And the last type of word is called the harf. And the harf is kind of like a catch-all category for words that are neither ism and they are neither fi'l. And so they're kind of words that don't really make sense on their own. They kind of need a helper ism or a helper fi'l to make sense. So I'll give you one example. The word fi means in. In is not really an ism and it's not really a fi'l. So we've put it in the category called harf. So harf is kind of like the other category. Okay. So the next couple of lectures, we're going to be focusing a lot on the ism. And I briefly want to introduce to you, I want to talk a little bit more about the ism in this lecture. So ism is a noun, and in Arabic, every single ism has 4 properties. And we're going to go into these properties more in upcoming lectures, but it's very important that we learn these 4 properties because once we can really understand the ism, then we can start putting isms together to make fragments. For example, in the Mawsuf Sifa fragment, once we learn the properties of the ism, we can put them together to make fragments. And once we make fragments, we can even put words together to make sentences too. Like, for example, the Jumla Ismiya is all isms. So if you learn the properties of the ism, you'll learn how to make fragments. You'll learn how to make jumla ismiya, and then we can even make really more advanced complex sentences by putting multiple fragments together and making really awesome sentences, inshallah. So let's briefly discuss the 4 properties of the ism. The first property is called definite or indefinite. Definite is like the word is proper, it is defined, versus indefinite, meaning it's common, it's not really specific. Example is the book versus a book. Also, the word Abdullah versus a man or a boy. Abdullah is a specific person that we're talking about, so his name is definite, it is proper. A man, a boy, these are all, you could be talking about anybody, so they're common, they're indefinite, not really specific. Okay, the second property, which is very important, is called the status. Now, the status tells us the role that the ism is playing in the sentence or in the fragment. Let's look at an example. The example is the Prophet of Allah advised the people. Okay, first, what are all of the isms in this sentence? The Prophet is an ism because it's like a noun. The word Allah is an ism, and people is an ism. The word advised is not an ism, it is actually a fi'l. So these 4 properties that we're talking about do not apply to this word. Okay? What we are talking about applies to the word prophet, the word Allah, and the word people. These are the 3 isms. Now, what is the status of each of these 3 isms? Well, it's going to be determined based on the role the ism is playing in the sentence. So in Arabic, there are 3 statuses. Okay, there is the Rafa status, which is like the doer, the main subject. There's the Nasab status, which is kind of like the detail or the object in the sentence. And there is the Jar status, which includes multiple things, but it specifically refers to the after of, the word that comes after of. It's kind of like that, the possessive. Okay, so let's go back to our example here and let's assign each of these words its status. So the prophet, it's the doer of the sentence. Who is doing the advising? It's the prophet. So the prophet is in Rafa status. Who is being advised? The people are being advised. They are the object of the sentence. So the people is in Nasab status. And finally, what ism is coming after the word of? The word Allah. So the word Allah is in jar status. So this is what status means in Arabic. Okay, there are 2 more properties to talk about. The third property is gender. In Arabic, there are 2 genders, masculine and feminine. We'll talk about this more in future lectures, but just know that words generally in Arabic are masculine unless there is a reason to make it feminine. So there are certain rules that make a word feminine, and we will talk about those in the future, inshallah. And finally, the fourth property of an ism is the number. So an ism can be singular, plural, or dual, which is 2. So it can be singular, dual, or plural. And these are the 4 properties of the ism. Okay, let's quickly recap and then we will end this lecture here. So let's look at our roadmap. This roadmap is going to help us in future lectures as we go through the class. So in Arabic language, we can have a complete thought. When we put our words together to make a complete thought, we are making sentences. Okay, the sentence in Arabic can either be a nominal sentence called a jumla ismiya or a verbal sentence called the jumla fi'liya. When we put our words together in an incomplete way, we are making fragments. And there are many fragments in Arabic, and we're slowly going to go through each of them. One of them I introduced is the Mawsuf Sifa fragment, which is kind of a noun along with its description. And super important is patterns. All of these fragments, you put them together using specific patterns, specific changes in the status, changes in the definite or indefiniteness, etc. And we're going to go through those slowly together. And finally, in Arabic, we have words. In Arabic, there are 3 types of words. The first one is the ism, which we talked a lot about. Next is the fi'l, which we will explore later. Fi'l is like a verb. It is a word associated with a tense. And finally, we have the harf, which is kind of like the other category, words that don't really count as an ism and don't really count as a fi'l. And then lastly, we talked about the 4 properties of the ism. These are properties specific to the ism. So an ism can either be definite or indefinite, meaning proper or common. The ism can have 3 types of statuses. Rafa, meaning the doer, nasab, the detail or object, and jar, which is the ism coming after of. The third property of the ism is the gender, being masculine or feminine. Arabic words are usually masculine unless there's a reason to make it feminine. And finally, the number, so the ism can either be singular, dual, or plural. So in the upcoming lectures, we're going to explore more these properties of the ism. So once we get really good at the ism, we can start to make basic fragments and even make basic jumla ismiyas. And very soon, we're also going to learn about the fi'l madi and mudari, so we can make jumla fi'liyas as well. And inshallah, throughout this course, I'm going to give a lot of examples using the Quran so we can start to get familiar with the Arabic of the Quran, inshallah. So thank you guys so much for listening. I really pray that this is beneficial. May Allah accept all of our efforts. May Allah really make this journey very easy for you, easy for all of us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله عليه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you guys so much, and inshallah see you in the next video.